yeah, like I was saying, just waking up on the morning after the first reset of Lost Ark. What a great week. It's been so good. I'm loving this game. The leveling process was like getting into it a little bit, and then once you get to max level, oh my gosh, things just bloom. And as you continue to progress through max level, things continue to bloom. It is just such a joy to log in and play, and the streams and the content has been popping off, which just fills my heart with such gratitude and fulfillment as a content creator. So thank you guys so much for that. Let's take a look at my character though. Like I was saying, 1 week into the game, there are people who are like literally 500 plus eye level higher than me, 1,000 eye level, but I've been enjoying the grind, learning as I go, and here's kind of where we are for now. Last night we just completed I'm just gonna say the 4th Abyss dungeon. So we did the first 2. We did the Demon Land, then we did the Necromancer's Origins, then we did both Karazhan's, basically, is how I'm going to describe those. Both of the reality warping Karazhan's. And got here. Yeah, I think that 1.1k plus eye level is both time invested, but also efficiency. I don't think I've been especially efficient. We put some good time in, maybe not as much as some people, but definitely been putting some time in, been having a blast. But so what that basically allowed me to do was get my full set from the second round of Abyss dungeons. So I've got the full Enraged Nature set. The Boisterous whatever is also good, but the Enraged Nature is just kind of what I ended up getting. The legs dropped for me, and then I was able to craft the rest of the gear with this vendor right here, the Craft Abyss equipment guy. I was able to craft the rest of it. So currently my gear is like plus 13. All of it's plus 13, 560 item level. My engraves, I mean, in terms of my actual stats and stuff, I think I'm looking for crit and swiftness. Looks like I actually have a decent amount of crit, thankfully. That's cool. Looking for crit and swiftness primarily. Still socketing Mayhem. We need to find more Mayhem books for the level 20 Mayhem, so I can actually engrave Mayhem directly on my character, but we're not quite there yet. On these things, I'm looking for Mayhem, primarily. Now, we do have a Disrespect node on there as well. We also have a Master's Tenacity node on there as well. So you'll notice my engravings have Master's Tenacity, which is outgoing damage is just, increased at 50% or lower HP. The level 1 nodes are like not too great, but once you'll notice that they scale really hard. So at level 2, Master's Tenacity becomes 8% damage, which would be amazing. Disrespect just sort of happened. Sort of happened on my gear. Damage to foes with 30% HP or lower, you do 9% extra damage. This one goes crazy too, right? It goes to 22 and then 36% if you level it up. What's up, Joe? Just doing a quick gear update. Character progression update. Ain't got no gems. My cards are the We'll Meet Again set for reduced damage taken. It's kind of weird the way it's like it's stated, but my understanding is it makes you take less damage when you're at low HP. And because I'm playing Mayhem Berserker, I'm always low HP. So anything that's like when you're low HP, this does something. Those are really good effects to use because you're low HP for free, basically, right? A normal non-Berserker, Mayhem Berserker character at low HP, that would be a trade-off, right? Because it's not always going to happen, and it's kind of risky because you're low HP. For Mayhem Berserker, you're always low HP, and you're buff at low HP. And Buzz, big flex of that Prime. Thank you, man. Where do you get the legendary piece of the craft of gear? They come from the Abyss dungeons. So the first 2 Abyss dungeons give you these little night orbs, and you craft the night orbs, and then the second ones give you like these little elemental thingies, like they're like these little crystals. But basically, that's how the Abyss dungeons work. The Abyss dungeons can drop you gear directly, but they'll also drop you these little like resources, and then you use those resources at the Abyss crafter. Yeah, that's how that works. But yeah, so those are my engraves right now. Mayhem is the one I love. It's like the build definer. And then Master's Tenacity is like really, really good. I think Disrespect seems fun, but I think there's other ones that you want, like Keen Blunt Weapon maybe are good. Maybe the Dagger one could be good too. Now, I'm wondering, because we were talking about it in chat, you might be able to use Mayhem and Berserker's Technique. You might be able to use both of those. I don't know, that's not something that I've heard recommended, but I wonder if that you can do it. But yeah, Mayhem and Master's Tenacity is insane. The We'll Meet Again set and the Nature's Elementals set, I recommend using that together for this double, reduced damage. Now, I was over-geared for last night's Abyss dungeons, and I'll post the video for you. I feel so tanky as a Mayhem Berserker, and with a Paladin in my group, it's insane. Because Paladins give you additional damage reduction, and they heal you for, like, 2.5% of your HP. I think it's only when their aura is up. But remember, 2.5% of your max HP is 10% of your 25% HP that you actually have as an active HP bar. So I feel so tanky. It's crazy. They're both coupled together, but I'm not sure if it's good to do that, is what I'm saying. But yeah. This is where we're at with my upgrades. Plus 13 with the second Abyss thingy. We got Mayhem. We just sort of happen to have Disrespect, although I really like... Master's Tenacity is like what I look for in my Stone of Birth or whatever, right? The stones. Generally for Master's Tenacity on that. My skill build is in flux. Once again, you can probably find better guides than this. I just want to show you what I like, what I've been doing. So, I have like two builds. Like, one of them is like AoE, one of them is single target. So, Finish Strike, super heavy hitter. I'm gonna try to do this quickly. I think we can do a more in-depth guide at some point as I learn more. And the Phoenix Pet drop, we'll make that available later on. It's not like me, it's not my choice, but the Legends of Lost Ark will make that available later on. So hang in there. So Finishing Strike. I have it charging up a little bit longer to hit a little harder, but maybe Bleed would be probably fine too, just so it goes off faster. Or even Push Immunity in a raid encounter would be kind of nice, so you don't get interrupted on it, but either of these are fine. I just have it hitting a little bit harder right now. Making it do more damage when the enemies are low health. And apparently, it got like unspec'd. I think I must have just clicked it, right? I must have just clicked it, because yeah, you want to do the double whammy. Shoulder charge. I used to have the shield on it. I like the shield, but the excellent mobility makes it you charge further, and you has like a delay on it. I still use Whirlwind. I like it. I was using it as a mobility skill for the movement speed, and a small dash is kind of nice too. But this is fine too. This is like my, once again, this is not what I was using for dungeons. I actually love the fully upgraded Whirlwind, but I'm not using it right now. By the way, I was using a little bit faster attack speed sometimes on this. The stagger is also good for any situation where you need stagger. I'll put a bleed on the Whirlwind. Right now I've got Tempest Rush maxed out, but I still kind of like maxed out Whirlwind better. But like I said, I play around with these a lot. But attack speed makes it go off faster, makes it do more damage, and it removes the like combo. So it's just one ability, which is kind of cool. That feels good. I don't know why I have points in this. I had points in this because I was using this to get around faster, but now I can take the points out of that and put it in something else, which is great. I think I can only put the points in maybe charge. Yeah, just maybe put one more point in charge, something like that, because nothing else has enough points unless I do this. Maybe that's actually worth. Just plop it there. More damage on there. Or more damage on red dust, probably better. Anyway. See that. Damage on the slammer. Regardless. Hellblade is really fun. For Hellblade, I feel like this stuff got unspec'd for some reason. I like this one. This makes it so that you don't have to hold it down anymore. You jump. It does more damage when you're low HP, which is all the time because you're playing Mayhem, right? So you do the Giga Slammer. There's no holding anymore. It just goes off, which is great. I like the charged wave. Feels really good. The earth one I think is really good, but for some reason I still like the fire one better, but I don't know why. The earth one's really good. That works. And I have Iron Wall so that I take less damage while I'm charging it up. Red Dust is like your Colossus Smash. It's like your buff to make enemies take way more damage. And I also have it going off faster, and it increases my crit rate when it goes off, which is pretty cool. I don't know what weak point does, but I'm interested. And then you have your big Slammer. This is good against, like, push immune foes. But I'm using this for mostly Chaos Dungeons, so I don't really use that right now. But all these are really good. All these are really fun. The attack speed, I don't know if I need attack speed as much as, like, the cooldown or something else. I could probably use the cooldown reduction on it. TBH. Kind of interested in that. That way it might line up a little bit better with this. But not really. Anyway. You could do any of these. And that's what I've got with my skill build right now. And then for raiding, I use something a little bit different. Firestorm, when I have it maxed out, is insane because it does the same thing. It makes you do more damage when you're low health. But the lead on that, the charge, instead of it being a Cerberus where it branches out, I just have it be, I do more damage per charge level, and I have it charging to 2, and then I whack them with the earth thing. Hellblade, same deal. You can use, I don't use the combo Tempest for this one, but I probably should. I probably should still use the combo Tempest instead of this. I don't think I can get it to max level with that with this though, is the thing. So maybe not. We're close though, we're close. When I get to max level, I'll probably drop that. For raiding, there's an absolute argument to not use Whirlwind and to instead use Chainsword, because this Chainsword is your counter. And having a counter in PvP is really good, so. It also gives you crit and attack speed for 3 seconds after you use it, so that's pretty helpful instead of the Whirlwind, but Whirlwind's kind of cool from ability still. This is pretty much the same thing, except you're using the push immune this time. Because this is pretty cool, but 40% damage all the time versus 50% half the time is probably better. So, that's kind of where I'm at with a lot of these skills. Eventually I probably want to max out Tempest Rush, but I like max Hellblade, I like max Charge. Red Dust is going to be another one to max out, another good option. A lot of cool stuff. I wonder if I actually drop some of this. Can I do that? Can I drop this and have enough? No. Close though, close. But my skill build's kind of in flux. But those are the things that I'm working with a lot of time right now, just so we can keep you guys in the loop on that one. But this also has the push immune, so that's another reason to use this for PvE, like raiding and stuff. That's the skill build ATM. We'll keep you posted. So far, so fun. Where we are in our story is we're working towards 600 eye level. We're working towards Yorn or whatever. We have a lot of islands to do. I did a little quick video about this, about how my path that I recommend is kind of take your happy little self over here, grab these 2 islands to get a bunch of coins by doing those islands. Then you walk up to Pado Island, right? Go to Pado, then you grab your song, right? Then you take your song, and you go to Lullaby Island, and you start setting your Bifrost location at Lullaby Island to start working on your song that you need for Dream Goal Island, right here. Do Dream Goal Island. Where is Dream Goal? Do Dream Goal Island stage 1 to get a bunch of crafting resources. You can also walk yourself over to Panda Island, which is right here, to get another bunch of resources. Once you've done the Dream Goal thing, well, once you've done the song 3 times from Lullaby, go back to Dream Goal, get more resources. And there are guides for this that you can find. I think maxroll.gg has a lot of good guides. I haven't really been following a guide very closely, but maybe I should be more often. I'm learning, and I'm sharing this with you guys, so that hopefully you can learn. Because I was saying this in that video as well, like, I'm a noob to the game, and so I'm like, as a noob, these are the things that I'm learning. These are the things that are helping me, so I'm just trying to pass those along to you guys. But there's a lot more to learn. There's a lot more efficient stuff to do, but this is where I'm at in my journey. So the next objective for me is getting 600 eye level, and then getting onto Yorn, because basically the way the game kind of feels to me is you have like story progression, grind to get to the next story progression, and then you have, once you finish that story progression, you have another grind to get to the next one. So it's kind of like a bit of a smooth character progression path. So I'm knocking out Chaos Dungeons every day, knocking out the Guardian raids every day. I'm knocking out the daily like quests, the Alt-J daily quests every day. Definitely working on some islands. But then, of course, you can do all these dailies on your alts, too, if you want to. I'm working on my roster of alts right now. is we got Bajheera and Bajheera, my Death Blade and my Paladin working, and then I got to figure out what other classes I want to do too. But the fact that like your alts are basically like playing, so the way I've heard it described well is like you're playing an account. This is the description from Cute Dog after I hosted him the other day. He was talking about it, is that you're basically playing your account. Everything that you do is actually progressing your main. So it's not like you start off on an alt and the alt's just on an island by itself, unprogressed. It's actually like it benefits a lot from the progression of your main, and it also helps the progression of your main too. So if you like alts in games in general, you are going to absolutely go nuts over this game. Deathblade feels great, Paladin feels great. Whenever people tell me about the class they're playing, they're like, man, I started this class, I'm loving it. And every time I play a new class, it feels unique, but it feels awesome. It feels really smooth. Just because of the way that the combat is designed, the way the classes are designed, everything feels really, really smooth and fun to play, so you really can't go wrong. And so I'm excited to probably, the next class I'm leaning towards is probably a Scrapper. I want to make a martial artist, so it's either Striker or Scrapper, but I like the fact that Scrapper is like everything that they do is like a little bit slower, but bang, and it's like really big wind up and really big pops and stagger on the bosses. So I'm just in love with the game, and I haven't even really done very much PvP yet because I'm mostly putting my time and effort into progression so I can unlock giveaways for you guys and drops. But we did unlock the drops, so now it's like unlocking giveaways for you guys for the Legends of Lost Ark event that we're doing. So absolutely having a blast. That's where my character's at right now. We'll give you guys an update, you know, down the line, maybe just as we go. But yep, as of the first reset complete, we have an entire roster of activities to dive into this week. But last week, we ended up at 560 item level, 4 Abyss dungeons complete. Excited to keep the grind rolling. Oh, and my Gainesville's looking pretty good too. My stronghold is sort of progressed. We should go check in on it actually. We can check in on the stronghold. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So today's objectives are to knock out some dailies on my main and my alts, and then I don't know if we can get to 600 eye level today. Then I think maybe we'll start dabbling on the story. But basically, like my mindset is like do your dailies and then progress. So for me, it's like do the dailies and then do the islands. The one thing to think about is if you do your islands first, you can upgrade your gear to then maybe have access to higher tier dailies. But basically, that's what you do. You have all your daily stuff to progress that you can do, and then you have your main progression, which for me right now is islands that you do in the downtime. So crazy fun, lots of stuff to do. I'm hype about it if you can't tell, because all of this is like the PvE progression, and then PvP is always there for you too, right? And the thing about all this progression that we're doing in PvE is it has nothing to do with like arena PvP. If you don't want to do any of this PvE stuff, if you're like dailies sound annoying, or I don't want to do PvE, you make a character, you blast through the storyline, you make it to the Lutera Castle, Helm's Deep cutscene event, you finish that, boom, that character is ready for PvP, and it is on the exact same playing field as someone who has 1,000+ eye level. The game's free to play, doesn't require, you know, any sort of gear progression for PvP. You don't even have to be max level to PvP. However, I can still take this character into PvP and go from there. There's no PvP gear at all. You just like make your character, you have stat points to allocate, you have skill points to allocate, that's it. So you can make an entire roster of like level 26, 27 characters that have no other progression for PvP, and you can make them on any server. If you're like, you know what, it's like the middle of the night here, and the queues are taking, you know, a minute rather than seconds, so I want to go on EU where queues take seconds, then you can do that. And the fact that queues, like, you don't need like a tank, a healer, and DPS for dungeons. Everybody can do everything, basically. Like, everybody says the dodge mechanics. Like, supports are helpful, and I think that, like, gun lancers are helpful as, like, tanks, but, like, you pretty much just, like, queue up and go. So, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. So, there's a lot of things to be excited about this game. Definitely pumped about it. Looking on getting more stuff going. But yeah, anyway, my progression right here is level 11. My lab is level 2. We're just going to figure out what else we want to do. Crafting time sounds fine. Well, yeah, I don't think, well, no, I probably should do something else. It's fine. You know what, 7 hours later, we'll do another one. That's fine. And we'll send my guys out on boats. But yeah, this game's nuts. Absolutely loving it. Pumped to play more. There's my character and progression update as of 1 week into it, and we'll keep it going after.